If you guys know me, you know how much I love Invictus Aqua 2016. This is a fragrance that got a lot of hype when it first came out. In fact, this was all the rage back in 2016 when it came out. A lot of people were talking about this one. This fragrance is making it in basically everyone's top 10 summer lists. A lot of people were reviewing it and having a lot of good things to say about it. And overall, this was kind of the #1 trending summer fragrances a few years back. So this one really made its mark in the fragrance community, and unfortunately they ended up discontinuing it. They took it away from us, and it was a couple years later that they then released Invictus Aqua 2018, which I do also really enjoy. And that one is, in my opinion, an improvement on the DNA in a sense of quality. So the 2018 version is more well-rounded, it's more high quality, it doesn't have the performance that this one does, but it is overall an improvement. However, that doesn't change the fact that this fragrance, the 2016 version, still holds a special place in my heart. And there's something about how synthetic this is and just how it comes across that I really like it for that reason. I don't care about quality when I'm reaching for a $50 Paco Rabanne fragrance. If I want quality, I'll go elsewhere, so I'm not worried about it being synthetic. I like the fact that this fragrance here is synthetic. So while it is nice that they smoothed it out and kind of improved the DNA in the 2018, to me, my preference still is this version here. It's a great scent with great performance, and there are a few fragrances on the market that smell similar to it, one of which being Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. Now this one right here is going to be your cheapest alternative. So there's Rasasi Hawas, which is around $50, $60. Then you have Parfums Vintage Aqua 2016, which is going to be up in the hundreds, probably somewhere around there. There might be a couple more that I'm missing off the top of my head here that kind of get you close to this fragrance. Diesel Bad actually kind of smells somewhat like Invictus Aqua, so that's another one, but that one's more expensive. So if you want an affordable alternative to the 2016, even more affordable than the 2018 version, which is going to be $50, this is where you're going to want to be looking. Bottles are going to be running you about $30, $35 for 100 ml. I believe you can get testers down into the $20 range, mid upper $20 range for 100 ml testers. So this one, in comparison to a lot of the other ones and in comparison to the vintage bottles of this, is dirt cheap. So today we're going to be going over how good is Legend Spirit and how does it compare to Invictus Aqua 2016. If you have an opinion on this, let it be known down in the comments. I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you think on how these two fragrances compare. And also, I do appreciate you hitting the subscribe button down below, also turning on post notifications and liking the video. And now, let's get into it. So let's go ahead and start off with Mont Blanc Legend Spirit, and we're going to talk about how this one smells and kind of the overall note breakdown. So when you first spray this fragrance on, there is a shocking resemblance to Invictus Aqua 2016, so much so that it would be impossible to be able to tell them apart, in my personal opinion. This isn't one of those fragrances that just kind of models after the DNA just a little bit and does its own thing. In the opening, it's pretty darn close to Invictus Aqua 2016. You really can't deny that. I mean, they are very, very close in the opening. Immediately, you get hit with that bubblegummy type of smell that Invictus DNA is known for. Coming in after that, you get a bit of aquatic and citrusy, musky type of smell like you would expect from Invictus Aqua 2016. So it starts off very, very promising here and gets you very, very close to that original DNA. And it does kind of have that screechy, sharp, kind of synthetic smell that you get from Invictus Aqua 2016. So that's kind of part of the reason why I like this alternative so much, is the fact that it does have that synthetic type of smell in there. However, it starts to go a little bit in a different direction in the dry down. And basically, the easiest way for me to describe it is that it has a bit of like a clean linen type of smell in the dry down. You get a good amount of lavender in the dry down, along with some of the aquatic notes, a little bit of the citrus, and a lot of the musk. But it just, again, it smells kind of like clean, fresh linens with a little bit of a bubblegummy Invictus Aqua 2016 type of vibe mixed in there. So while the opening is very, very close, the dry down of Mont Blanc Legend Spirit doesn't match the dry down of Invictus Aqua. So that's one thing you'll want to keep in mind there. It's not bad by any means, it's just a little bit more clean smelling, and it loses that bubble gumminess in the dry down. So for some of you guys, that might actually be a good thing. If you are someone who doesn't like that bubble gumminess, that in your face, synthetic, almost sweet, aquatic type of smell that Invictus Aqua has, you could check this one out, because again, it's going to be a little bit more clean, a little bit more refined smelling in the dry down. And for some of you guys, that might be good news, and you might end up actually preferring this one over Invictus Aqua, because again, a little bit of a twist in the dry down, which honestly isn't too bad. Now, for those of us who love the DNA and love it just how it is, that can be a little bit of a letdown. I personally wish it didn't go in that direction in the dry down, just because I like how linear Invictus Aqua is for the most part, and I just like how it smells overall. I could do without the clean linen type of smell, but I can see kind of why they did it to set itself apart, and I can also respect it. So by no means is that a bad thing, and also I want you to know that this is not a one-to-one clone of Invictus Aqua. There is still some differences there that you're going to want to keep in mind. And next, we're going to go ahead and talk about the performance, which is another big difference here between these two fragrances. So Mont Blanc Legend Spirit, I've been getting around 6 to 7 hours longevity, and projection, it does push out a decent amount, believe it or not. It kind of makes itself known. It definitely gets out of my personal scent bubble. Just the issue is the longevity. It just doesn't last very long. And especially in the summertime, if you're going to be wearing it outdoors like it's kind of intended to be, in my opinion, just summer, outdoor, fun, casual stuff, and you're going to be sweating a lot, you're going to sweat this one off pretty quickly. And what I love so much about Invictus Aqua 2016 is that this stuff is nuclear. I've talked about it before, 12 plus hours longevity on my skin, very, very strong projection as well. This one you pretty much have to scrub off your skin to get it away from you. So there's going to be definitely a difference here in performance. And what I like about how synthetic this fragrance is the fact that it does last that long. Like I said, you have to scrub this stuff off, and it really comes in handy in the summertime when you can spray it on, you can be sweating, and it's still going to be sticking on you, it's still going to be projecting. And also, even going to the pool, I've said this before, this is one of my #1 pool fragrances, just because it doesn't even wash off when you go swimming. It is that strong. Why it's so strong is because of that synthetic smell. And again, you do lose that performance in the 2018 version because it is more well-rounded and they tone back the performance. It's probably composed of less synthetic materials to some extent. I mean, it's not going to be made of naturals, but they probably toned it back a little bit just to take that screechiness away like you get from the 2016. And it's going to be kind of the same thing here. While it does have that in the opening, the dry down is quite a bit different, and it just doesn't have the depth and the performance to really stick on your skin. So overall, is this one going to be a good alternative to Invictus Aqua 2016? I would say yes, absolutely. And again, another thing we're looking at here is the price. You can get this, again, in $30 to mid to upper $20. And this one is actually a tester that I got from FragranceNet. And the tester did come with a cap, as you can see right there. On the back, you can see it says tester at the bottom, and it also just tells you the notes and stuff like that. So this is a tester bottle, did come with the cap, it just came in like a plain white box or whatever. So if you get this from FragranceNet like I did, mine had a cap, so I'm assuming yours will have a cap. I don't know for sure, so don't get mad at me if you buy it and it doesn't have a cap, but that's my experience with the whole thing. Tester has a cap, and again, at that price, I believe I paid $26, $27 or so. You can't beat it. Again, will you have to spray heavier? Yes, you will. Will you have to kind of deal with the fact that it isn't quite like Invictus Aqua in the dry down? Yeah, and again, for a lot of you, that's not going to be a bad thing. If you haven't really had much experience with the 2016 version and you want to get something that kind of gets you pretty close to it just to experience it without paying like $200 for a 2016 bottle, check this one out. It's great value, and it'll really give you an idea of what it smells like. It's just for us who are really passionate about the fragrance. Again, like me, one of my favorite summer fragrances. I've had a lot of fun wearing it over the summer, and it's just one of those fragrances that kind of made a mark on me. I'm more picky about fragrances that are similar to it, so that's kind of why, I've been a little bit more critical about this one. But overall, it is a great scent. Mont Blanc fragrances are fantastic for the price. All of them you can pick up on discounters around the $20 to $30 range. This one I would recommend you grab and pick up if you want a fantastic summer fragrance, if you're okay with spraying a little bit extra. And this should go without saying, but compliment factor on this fragrance is going to be killer. Invictus Aqua 2016 is known for being a compliment magnet, which is probably a lot of the reason why it got so much talk when it first came out and when it was getting hyped up. A lot of people had a lot of great things to say about it, and that stuff is true. It is going to be a great compliment getting sent. The whole Invictus line is going to be very successful in the compliment category. I mean, they're all bubblegummy, sweet type of fragrances, a little bit fresh, a little bit sweet. That type of thing works wonders because it appeals to a very wide audience. There's a lot of people that like sweet scents, so when you combine the two together, you create something that is going to really smell good to those around you, and honestly, there probably isn't going to be that many people around you who dislike this. So I think I'm pretty much done here. That is my thoughts on Mont Blanc Legend Spirit and how it compares to Invictus Aqua 2016. Does it get my stamp of approval? Yes, it does. Will I wear this one over the summer? Yeah, probably. I mean, again, here's the thing. When I choose Invictus Aqua 2016, I'm choosing it because I want strong performance that's going to get me through the whole day, that's going to project, that's not going to wash off or sweat off. That's typically when I choose that fragrance, just when I want to have fun in the summer. This fragrance isn't going to quite get me that same thing because it lacks in the performance and the dry down's a little bit different for me, but I still will wear it probably around the house for personal enjoyment when I don't want to spray my actual bottle. That sort of thing is what I'm going to be using this one. But if I want a fragrance that's going to be somewhat fleeting to where I can wear it out during the day in the summer and then maybe at night I can switch up to something different without having to wash it off, this one would be a good option. So it is going to get use out of me, and I think it can get a lot of use from you guys as well. So that's going to do it for me, Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. Make sure you hit that link down below. Go pick this one up on FragranceNet. Killer price, killer fragrance. It's definitely worth checking out. That's going to do it for me, guys. I'll see you tomorrow night with another one. Take care.